G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today guys, we are doing the snake room. If you guys have yet to see the lizard room, which is part 1 of the reptile room, I suggest you go and check it out after this video to get to see kind of the full family of reptiles that I have. Plus we do have a new addition over in that room now, so something else to check out. But anyway, let's check out all the little snakes in here, plus the 2 goannas in this room, and see how all of them are doing. We start over here in this 80cm enclosure, so just shy of 3 foot, with my breeding pair of children pythons, and the parents of Valentino, who is in the other room. So this little girl here, who I think is in shed at the moment, is Azula. She's a proud mum of 3 clutches now, so she's done awesome. Need to fatten her back up, but she's taking food like a champ. She's in this hide over here because the heat pad is right where she is. Obviously under the enclosure, not where she's actually sitting. You don't want her to burn her, and if she peed on it, she'll get electrocuted. That's why you always put your heat pads underneath the enclosure. Not in the other hide, but in this hide here, we've got her boyfriend, who is pretty protective of her. This is Emma. Emma is doing fantastic, guys. So, like Azula, he's a proud father of 3 clutches now. When I first got him, he was an absolute jerk. But he's mellowed out since I gave him a beautiful girlfriend and a nice house. I guess it's always the way, isn't it, buddy? But both snakes are doing fantastic. In the enclosure, they've got 3 hides, a heat pad, a couple of branches and a fake plant for them in the enclosure, water bowl, and the substrate they use is coconut fibre or cocoa peat. Pretty much the same thing, just a couple of different names. There's a backing, and there's a light strip that they share with half the room. Speaking of, we're going to next lot of animals, which is Aro and Snickers. So in this enclosure here, we've got Aro and Snickers, like I just said. They're housed in a 1 metre enclosure, so over 90 centimetres, so it's over 3 foot. In the enclosure, we've got the heat, got a backing, a couple of fake plants, 3 hides for them to choose from, a couple of rocks, substrate, and a water bowl. And both girls are sharing a hide together, which is a bit unusual. They like to have their own hide. So the brown one here is Aaron, and the kind of goldish sandy looking one is Snickers. Both girls here are doing fantastic. Aaron here had a clutch last year of babies with Caesar, who you see later on in the video. But I decided just to scale back down to just 1 breeding pair for the time being, as having 30 baby children pythons hatch out last year was a nightmare. So saying that, all these 2 girls are doing fantastic. Aaron is pretty sweet. So is Snickers. But when these 2 girls smell food, they pretty much switch and turn on me. But saying that, can't blame them. If I was hungry, I'll be hangry as well. But yeah, both are doing fantastic. Below them, in a 6 foot enclosure, we've got Chris, who's pretty much the got the title of the monster snake, because she's the biggest snake in the reptile room. But she's no means of a monster. She's a sweetheart. So she's kind of covered herself in a bit of dirt here. Oh, I'm sorry to wake you up. So Chris here is my black-headed python. Probably pushing 7.5, 8 feet. It's very hard to know the exact measurement. Maybe one day I'll pull her out and actually measure her and weigh her. That'll be a fun video maybe. Let me guys if you want to see that. Got feeding day tomorrow, so all my snakes are a little bit on edge, but they know what's hand and food most of the time. So Chris's enclosure is 6 foot, so 180 centimetres. 2 very large caves for her to curl up in and feel secure. Got the heat, an LED light strip here to light up the enclosure. Got a backing, a branch for her to climb on. She'll use it sometimes. A nice big water dish, her fake plant, and substrate. That is Chris. Below her, pretty much it's the same size enclosure. We've got Ray. Ray here is the little demon. So Ray here is my Rosenberg monitor. Training has kind of taken a bit of an interesting turn. Ever since I started training Ray, he's become a bit more feral. So I'm trying to figure out a way to prevent him from biting me or the gloves that I wear. One time he did bite me pretty badly, so ever since I had to wear gloves, and so gloves don't offer much protection, I won't lie. He's gotten through the thickness a couple of times and drawn blood. So I've got to think of a plan B. Anyway, he's doing fantastic, smashing his food, being an absolute menace when I clean the enclosure or letting him out to wander the house sometimes. But overall, we still love him. We've got his heat, added the UVB light bars in here for him because he does need UVB. Got a fake plant, substrate, water bowl. He does have a couple of hides in here, which he doesn't really use much now. He's a very proud animal. Got his backing as well. And he's got his hammock, which we use sometimes, and a branch. But that's got a Ray. Go across the floor to the next enclosure, which houses a very cute little Reptile monitor. This is Rosu. Rosu's training is doing fantastic, guys. When I do kind of accidentally scare him, he does run off. He might come up to me sometimes and go, "What the heck are you?" But then when he realises it's me, he goes, "Oh, I'm out of here," and turns and runs. But saying that, when I have food, he comes right up to me. He will just sit there, eat one worm or one cricket. Once he's finished, he waits for me to offer him the next one. And he will take the next one. And once there's no more food to be eaten, he buggers off. So Rosie here is housed in a 4-foot enclosure, so 127 enclosure. Currently where he's sitting is a fake rock stack that I made for him. And he's been enjoying that. Got his sensitive substrate, a couple of fake plants in here. He's got his branches. He's got his termite hide that he will sleep in of a night time. Got his water bowl, heating his UV. On to the next animal. Above him in a 60cm or 2-foot enclosure, we've got Caesar, who I mentioned earlier. He's actually a male blonde spotted python. Loves his little hide up here, so you might see his cute little face, but saying that, he can be a real mean snake sometimes, so I don't particularly want to get bitten today. But overall, he's smashing his food. He'll come out every so often to stretch, but often just stays in his hide and doesn't do anything. So he's got 3 hides in here. He's got one that's suspended, got one down here above his heat pad, got another one that's his cool hide behind the fake plants, got his water dish, fake substrate, and his backing. And the light strip kind of continues, well, it starts from him, goes up to these two up here, we'll get to in a minute, and then it wraps around along there. The next 2 serpents we're going to cover off are Willow and Diablo, who are my brown tree snakes. Willow here is a very feisty female, but saying that, since having her, she's just started eating more regularly now. Say hello to her. Hey Willow, you want to see your little face? She might start hissing and carrying on. Starting handling her a little bit more now, but she's still not really getting the idea just yet. And she's probably not happy that I woke her up. Hey Willow. I'll back away before she strikes the camera. Willow is housed in a 70cm enclosure, so just above 2 feet in length. We've got a backing. There's a few branches for her to climb on, a couple of fake plants to decorate. She's got 3 hides to choose from. There's one that's in the cool end, one's in the middle, and one over a heat pad. She's got a water dish and a substrate. And pretty much in the identical setup next to her is Diablo. Even though Diablo means the devil in Spanish, he is far from a devil. He's actually more of an angel, really. He's quite friendly, unless you have food. You gonna come out and say hello, Diablo? Come on, buddy. So he's kind of curled up in his hide in the cave right at the back there. But we might do a feeding video one day where you guys get to see them. Oh, there's his little head poking out just there in the darkness. You can kind of see it on the top right. Hey buddy, how you doing? Just quickly show you the enclosure and we'll continue moving on before this video does get a bit too long. Here we are. Close the enclosure. Make sure we don't have a loose snake in the house. But yeah, these guys are doing fantastic. Over to the other side of the snake room, we've got 5 carpets and 2 more spotted pythons to say hello to. So in this 4-foot enclosure houses my pair of central carpet pythons, Chappie and Orchid. Orchid is doing quite well. She's still eating her food and always making feeding time very exciting for me. But overall she's a good girl. And her partner crime Chappie, who's in shed at the moment, is still recovering, still hasn't eaten since July last year. There he is, you can see him a bit better there. He's hiding his little face today, so I don't want to disturb him. But yeah, he's doing okay. In the enclosure, guys, they've got 2 hides, coconut fibre as a substrate, not fibre, as for snake bedding. They used to have coconut fibre, but I got rid of that and put something more dry in there for them. Got a water dish, a couple of branches in here. I will have to do this up again soon to make it more nicer. It's, I think, the what I'm looking for. A couple of fake plants, got a ceramic and UVB light bar on these guys, just to make sure, well, just to keep their colours really. When they had a very dull light in their old enclosure, they went quite dark with the colours. But when I put a brighter light on them, they actually brighten up a bit. So that's them. Below Chappie and Orchid, we've got a pair of 90 cm enclosures, or 3 foot if you're using the other term. In this one here, we've got Charles, who's my albino Darwin carpet python. A very fussy eater. She'll only eat when she feels like it, and will strike at me every time I annoy her, which is fair enough. She's currently sitting on a hammock in her enclosure, guys. We've got 2 hides, coconut fibre as a substrate. We do have a new vine in her enclosure to make it a bit more jungly. 2 hides, water bowl, a couple of rocks, and a couple of fake plants in here as well. But yeah, nothing to report on Charles. Just she's just vibing out and doesn't do much really. Got a heating, also not UV light in there too to display the enclosure. Across the way, we've got Superstar and Graham, who are the oldest residents, or snakes in the family, I should say. Both snakes are doing fantastic. I think Superstar is going into a shed. Graham was out earlier today, so I know she's not going to shed anytime soon. Yeah, Superstar's going to shed. So, let's say who's who. So this one here, in that milky kind of look, is Superstar. She's trying to hide a little face at the moment. There she is. She's doing fantastic. And her cage friend, or sister I should say, is Graham. I know we're named for a girl, but I didn't know Graham was a girl until many years later. Both snakes are doing fantastic, both smashing their food, always getting along and being very lovely to anyone who they greet. So in the enclosure, guys, we've got 3 hides to choose from. Got a display light, heat element. We've got the backing, we've got 1 branch in here for the climb on, fake plant, a couple pieces of wood in here and a rock to help shed their skin, and a nice water dish for Graham for occasion to have a bath in. Every time she does that though, she gets me somewhat worried. For the one reason I'll say is mites, but luckily we haven't had that here in a little while. Touch wood. Anyway, well, as it is, down to the last 2 animals of the snake room. In here we've got my pair of diamond pythons. The one sitting on the branch here is Aurelia. This snake here gives me a hard time all the time. Doesn't matter if I'm trying to do water bowl or clean up a bit of poo in a shed, or it's feeding day, he will often strike at me thinking he's eating food. He's a very cheeky boy. Below him, I should say, we've got Atrum. Atrum here, I believe, is a female, so I'm hoping someday these two do breed, because it would be awesome to have some baby diamonds. But still, they're both pretty snakes, and I'm very happy to have them and everyone else in the family. So these two are housed in a 6-foot enclosure for the time being. I might downsize them one day, see how they go, but at the moment, they're happy, they're healthy, so no need to do that at the moment. They've got 2 hides underneath the heat there, as pretty much now I only can fit 1 snake in that hide now, but sometimes they're both in 1 hide, so don't know how to do that. We've got the heat element, UVB, as diamond pythons do require UV. We've got their branches that they'll climb on, a couple of vines in here that are added to decorate the enclosure a bit more. A nice big hide over in the corner there for them both to sit in if they feel like it. Water dish, and a backing. So that'll be it for the snake room video, guys. Like I said, if you haven't seen the lizard room yet, I'll go suggest and check it out right now. Thank you all guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.